we do appreciate your attendance, and for the viewers, we do thank you for tuning in. For introductions, on my left is Commissioner Deb Shore and Commissioner Larry Hudkins, and I have seen Commissioner Bill Avery. I'm sure that he will be coming in. So assisting this morning, we do have Dave Durbin of the County Attorney's Office, Kelly Lundgren, and Allison Lotto of the County Clerk's Office, and Carrie Egan will be coming in for the County Administrative Office. So will you join me now in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, thank you. And Mr. Clerk, will you begin the agenda, please?
Mr. Clerk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk.
Really threw it.
Well, it's, force of habit. I can't change.
It's okay. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Item 1. Approval of the minutes of the department budget meeting held on Tuesday, May 24th, 2016.
I move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the department meeting on May 24th. Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Approval of the minutes of the department budget meeting held on Wednesday, May 25th, 2016 morning session.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the morning session on May 25th. Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Approval of the minutes of the department budget meeting held on Wednesday, May 25th, 2016 afternoon session.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the meeting held on Wednesday afternoon, the 25th. Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Shore?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Amundson? Motion carries 4-0. Approval of the minutes of the department budget meeting held on Thursday, May 26, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the meeting held on Thursday, May 26th. Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Avery?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Approval of the minutes of the department budget meeting held on Tuesday, May 31st, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the budget meeting on Tuesday, May 31st. Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Shore?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, June 7th, 2016.
I move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of last week's meeting. Any discussion? Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Shore?
Yes.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Claims. Approval of all claims processed through June 14th, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve all the claims. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins?
Yes.
Avery?
Yes.
Shore?
Yes.
Amundson?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Okay. Special presentation. Recognition of Eric Hunt, Russ Bell, Chris Fisser, Lynn Forsgren, Jason Kaiser, John Jurasek, and Lou Gasper, County Engineering, for their performance at the Winter Maintenance Workshop in Grand Island on May 11th and 12th, 2016.
Good morning, Lancaster County Engineer Pam Dingman. So last year we started participating in an annual event, which is winter maintenance training. And the maintenance training and the competition of the maintenance training is made up of 3 parts. 1, a written test, which is kind of difficult, and 2, an actual obstacle course that you drive with your equipment. And this obstacle course is to give you an idea of how intense it is. If you get in the equipment and you turn the key without putting your seatbelt on, you're disqualified. You get a 0. If you back up too far or not close enough to an obstacle, you're disqualified. You get a 0. So, and then in addition to the obstacle course is actually a walk around for safety of a machine, where things have been randomly disconnected from the machine, or it has serious safety violations that the person has to figure out within a 3-minute time limit. So it's a very tight time limit, and typically it's a machine that they're not familiar with. And so was really honored to have 27 of our employees go out and participate in this event. We also helped volunteer to set up the courses, and I kind of want to thank, I really want to thank the honor of several of our employees who set up the courses so it took themselves out of the competition because they believed that that was not fair. But we actually, amongst us this morning, I'm really proud of how everyone did at the competition, and you're really putting yourself out there and under pressure too, because people are watching you do the course, which they have tried to get me to do the course, but I'm worried they would videotape me doing crazy things and it would end up on YouTube. So I've resisted.
0.
But we actually do have a winner of the state competition, and Eric Hunt, if you could come up today. Actually, if you guys could all come forward, that would be great.
Pam, while they're coming up, how many people participated in the training statewide? How large was the group that was out there?
I believe this year it was somewhere around 200 people.
Wow.
So although we didn't have like 200 people on each piece of equipment, it was a lot of people. And we're competing with people from Omaha and Sarpy County and North Platte, as well as the counties from across the nation, or across Nebraska. So Eric Hunt actually is our motor grader operator. Are you behind me? And see, I always realize how short I am when I'm with these guys, because in my mind I'm tall. Eric actually won the state competition for motor graders, so he gets to go to Loveland, Colorado, and I'm going to come forward and ask you guys for permission to travel out of state. He gets to go to Loveland, Colorado, and LTAP, actually through the Public Works Association, will give him a $750 stipend to make that trip, so that will help us with it. But I really wanted to say how awesome it is that Eric was the winner.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally awesome.
Congratulations.
Coming in second. I don't know who's buzzing. So coming in second for motor grader operator in Lancaster County, but just for Lancaster County, was Russell Bell, and he was unable to be with us today. But Rick Phillips is with us today too. And so only 2 people in the whole state missed the obstacle of the mailbox, which it's very difficult to run motor graders around some of our mailboxes. And those 2 people were Eric and Rick. So I just wanted to acknowledge that we're very easy on taxpayer assets. We win. In addition, we actually had one operator, and he's a brand new motor grader operator, and I'm so proud of him because he studied his operations book to the point that he actually got 100 on his test. And so I know I don't get 100 on tests very often, and so Chris Visser.
Yay.
Really awesome to recognize. Then, in addition to that, on motor graders, we had the fastest time through the course and completing the course, which was Lynn Forsgren. Thanks, Lynn.
There's Lynn.
So in addition to the motor grader competition, we also had a loader competition. In the loader, of course, we use for our rocks and things. And so for Lancaster County, Jason Kaiser had the top finish, our marathon runner, right? And Kip Spear was our second finish, and he's right behind me here.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Kip. So we also have a snowplow, dump truck type obstacle course. This obstacle course and the competition is run in teams. So there's 2 people in a truck. They go through the course. They high-five it out of the truck and run back around and switch places. And so I was really happy to have John Juracek from our sign shop was our top finisher in the county.
Thank you.
And his partner Lou.
Oh, my gosh.
And then in second place was Keith White. Keith wore his best bibs today for us. And Ryan.
Very good.
I want to thank LTAP, who sponsors this event and puts it on. And we've talked about LTAP in the budget hearing. Nebraska Local Technical Assistance Program, which helps us with a number of things for our technical training for our employees. The training itself is reimbursed, as well as the hotel room. So what we have to pay for is mileage and meals to go out to this training. And without that assistance, this isn't a training that we could really afford. But it's really important to our people, and I'm really proud of how they represent Lancaster County to the state.
Absolutely.
I certainly would agree with that. Back to Eric, where did you develop your skills that you're now a statewide winner heading off to a national competition?
Farming, growing up, and then just working here, learning from a lot of the employees around here. I've learned a lot from them.
Oh, nice. Very well said.
Larry?
And how many years have you been with us?
5 years.
5 years. And Lynn, how many years have you been with us?
41.
What a contrast, standing side by side. And I'm sure they learn from each other every day, all of you. And we really appreciate the work that you do. Just this last week again, you can drive into Saunders County, you can drive into Seward County from my side. You can tell the difference. Lancaster roads are much smoother and much better. And you've had a terrible spring to work on them, but you're still doing a good job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to say was that, you know, I was out there at the event center when you were doing motor grader training and so forth and so on. And, you know, the work that you do out there is so important to the county people, you know, is keeping those roads just perfect and everything like this for the economy of getting the products back and forth and getting people into the city too. So, you know, safety is really a big thing. You do such a great job. Thank you so very much for your work. We really appreciate that.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive. You studied really hard.
Yeah.
Very good. So go out and do more great things. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Item 4, public hearing. Class C liquor license application for Blue Stem Tree Farm, 5895 West Sprague Road, Crete, Nebraska.
Okay, we'll open this public hearing, and people who are speaking in support of this, please come forward.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hold on. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please sign in and state your name for the record.
My name is Greg Greeter, and I'm the attorney for the LLC. The address on here too. Okay. And the-
Oh, great. Yeah, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please sign in and state your name for the record.
I'm Dustin Stanzik.
And Dustin is the operations manager for the tree farm out there, and also when they have wedding events, which is another thing they do on a regular basis. I guess I just wanted to let the the board know that Dr. Martin wanted to be here, Steve Martin, but he's a heart surgeon at CSI, I guess. And he's had several cases this morning. He tried to shuffle them, but he just couldn't get out of it. So that's why we're here to answer any questions. I think the only thing I wanted to point out is what this really is Dr. Steve Martin and Dr. Amita Martin were married. They've had this license for years. I think they had a different name, slightly different name, Blue Stem Vineyard or something in Tree Farm, but there's really not a vineyard that operates out there. They don't produce any wine out there. They may have had some grapes in the past, but anyway, they've since been divorced, and so one could argue that the more organized half is no longer involved, and so Dr. Martin missed the application to transfer the name, and so that's why it's just going through the process now, the formal process. But really, nothing's changing out there, other than the name.
Larry?
Why do you feel that you need a liquor license at this venue? And is it is it being operated as a for-profit, as a business?
Yes, there is both a tree farm there and a wedding reception, and they have areas set up for weddings, and they have weddings and receptions there is primarily what they do.
There's a small tasting room that, like I said, hasn't been used for a few years. Other than that, a couple weddings a year, so.
And it may be that they would try to do something with the vineyard again, but it's not in the immediate plans.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any further questions? Okay.
Yeah, and they just plan to keep running things as they have in the past.
So it is a winery then?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? It's a tree farm?
It's more of a farm, yeah. We have trees, we have some vines, haven't harvested in probably 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
So, yeah. Like I said, we just do some small events and weddings and stuff like that.
Why is it that you need a Class C liquor license?
It's for weddings.
For weddings?
For weddings, Frog Fest is going on out there in August. That's something we've been doing for the last few years. So it's important to have that.
Okay, so this would just be a one-time sort of thing?
It could be more. It could be more. We get inquiries for weddings and stuff like that, and we like to accommodate if people are interested. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the wedding arches and the reception hall and the chapel area, all that stuff that they use out there. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Any other people to speak in support? Okay. People in opposition? And people in a neutral position?
I have a question for Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Are they properly licensed and zoned?
Okay, because we have been spending so much time talking about this issue, to me, the fact that they were an operating vineyard put them in a different classification than other wedding venues. If they have just testified that it's no longer an active
Vineyard?
winery, does that change the status of the liquor license?
Sure. Excuse me.
Tom Chaka, planning staff. Yeah, it was my understanding that this was a winery. Now it seems like it's not a winery. You are allowed to be a farm winery in the ag district as a conditional use with certain conditions. Originally, I was going to speak to that the Class C liquor license shouldn't be allowed, and they should have a Class Y similar to all the other wineries in the county. The county attorney, Dave Durbin, researched the other wineries and we found that they all have a Class Y license.
What's the difference?
I believe Class Y is only allowed to serve wine. But now it doesn't seem like this meets the conditions of the farm winery under the zoning code. Also, we've always have said that wedding events could be accessory to a farm winery. So holding wedding events out there also would be a violation of the zoning code.
They could be accessory to the primary use, which was
Winery.
the winery.
Winery, yeah.
Mhm.
So it doesn't appear to, I'm kind of at a loss, I really am. Because if you're a tree farm and you do, and you're providing, and you're doing weddings which are not really, which are not accessory to it, and is actually in violation, why would you need a Class C liquor license? I'm just really puzzled.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that's changed is the fact that we haven't harvested the grapes. We still grow the grapes.
Change.
We have enough stock that we just haven't made wine in a few years. That's really the only difference. So we aren't selling the wine. We were giving it away at weddings. We used to have 10, 15 weddings a year. Now we have 2. So 2 or 3. So we have enough wine we haven't been harvesting. So that's really the main difference there. But
Larry?
Well, I was around when we started this, and it was to help facilitate the wineries so that this new fledgling industry could get going, and it was only incidental to having it. And a lot of us questioned that at the time because we're starting to have competition with the people that do have the social halls, that have them properly licensed, properly zoned, and a key argument, and the reason we went along with it and did it, was to help the wine industry and those fledgling wineries that were starting. And it was just, on an occasional basis, never really meant to be a business. And I think with the absence of it not harvesting the grapes and making the wine and doing that there, I'm just reluctant to and it sounds like they didn't have the right license anyhow. It should have only been a Class Y instead of a Class C.
Well, I think that's something that if it was incumbent upon them to do, that they would certainly harvest grapes, and if it was more
Sure.
appropriate to change the application, and then have, to, I guess if Y is the appropriate designation, I certainly talk to Dr. Martin about that,
Well-
and see if he wants to.
Well, this is the first, of a public hearing that we do have, and so we would continue this next week. We would only recess it. Does this give you an opportunity to,
Yeah, I think
research it?
to discuss it with Dr. Martin and see what he wants to do, because it was his understanding that, really, when he got the application last fall, it was just to change the name of the LLC because of the divorce. And so, that just didn't assume that there would be, any
Right.
concerns, and that it would just go forward as it was, since it was simply just really more of a name change due to him not
And I think the
applying
fact
for the
that
application, yeah.
we have other applications that we have been and will be discussing over the next couple weeks. I think we are more in tune with what's going on with vineyards and wedding halls and special use permits and SDLs and liquor licenses than I think we ever have been on the county board. So I think the opportunity to have a week to investigate and determine some other options is a good
Continue
plan.
it for a week, and we
Yeah.
can discuss it with Dr. Martin and see what he
yeah,
would like to do.
I think that you probably should be doing a little bit more research on this, because right now it just doesn't seem as though it quite meets the requirements. So,
We do have staff out there, so perhaps they will want to,
yeah, and I can talk with the guys too and get more details on I think a lot of the operations stopped because the divorce has been going on and the jobs frankly out there were kind of in limbo. So I can discuss with those guys
Okay.
and
Yeah.
most importantly Dr. Martin, and see if making more wine is something he would like to do, and if that's what we need to do, then that's the direction we'll go.
all right,
So.
well then, we will recess this public hearing and listen for comments next week.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Item 5, unfinished business. Amendment to County Contract C130341 with Allen, Gibbs, and Hulick, L.C. for auditing services for all Lancaster County funds and officers, and the Lincoln-Lancaster County Public Building Commission. The amendment renews the contract from July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017. The estimated cost for the services will be increased by 2.5%. The estimated cost for the services to the county is not to exceed $73,000. C 160264.
All right, good morning. Dennis Meyer, County Budget and Fiscal Officer. This contract is under the unfinished because last week when we had it on the agenda, I had actually provided some wrong numbers for the contract. We did a 3-year contract, and now we've got 3 additional 1 years. So instead of me providing the additional 1 year, I provided additional 3 years. So last week it would have said like $221,000. So basically where we're at is we just finished up our first 3 years. This will be a renewal of a 1 year, and that $73,000 number is the correct number for the 1 year amendment. That number includes, we're really involved with 4 different audits. The county audit, the crisis center has to have its own separate audit. We do the jail JPA through there. And then also, as mentioned, PBC, we kind of pull them in. So when we do an RFP, PBC is part of that also. So that's for, that includes all 4 audits that we do.
Larry?
The PBC will reimburse you fully for
Yeah,
this part of the
PBC
contract?
PBC pays for their own audit. We've just always, as we've gone out to RFPs, we've always included them as a piece of that contract.
Right. And the 2.5% applies to 1 year only.
Yes.
And that's very close to the CPI for this region. It seems reasonable.
Yes.
I would move approval.
Second?
It's moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to the county contract with the explanation given by the budget officer. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. New business. A, resolution in the matter of transferring appropriations from the general fund miscellaneous budget to various general fund agencies. The amount to be transferred is $70,500. R 160031.
Okay, this resolution is just kind of, I'm hoping it's the last piece to finalizing our current year budget. I was here probably within the last 3 weeks because of our general assistance budget, which was a larger dollar amount at that point in time, and we needed to amend the budget to keep going through this current fiscal year. This resolution is really cleaning up the remaining amounts that we tend to wait until the middle of June to take care of. This $70,500 is split out between the county board, the election commissioner, the budget and fiscal, county court, general assistance operating, and human services. And a few of the things that have taken place is, no doubt, we always deal with cost of living. We always deal with health insurance. In the GA operating, we've actually had somebody just retire here in June that had not been taken into effect when we prepared the budget. Election commissioner has some additional postage costs that came up because of some elections, and the human service budget is being amended because of an additional staff that we are receiving revenue to cover that, but we still need the spending authority to spend it. So that is really what this $70,500 is doing. If we compare numbers, last year in 2015, we probably had additional appropriations of about $777,000. This year, counting that GA that we had earlier, we'll be at about $332,000. So one of the huge differences is an 18.57% health insurance increase last year versus a 2.4 this year. So that, no doubt, was really kind of the major player.
Okay. I will move approval of the amendment,
Second.
the resolution. Sorry.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution. in the matter of transferring appropriations. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Request from the Human Resources Department to change the title and revise the classification of cleaning and security manager to security technician.
Move approval.
Second?
It's moved and seconded that we approve this request to change the title of, and classification. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
The motion carries 4-0. Eighth Amendment to Disproportionate Share Hospital Intergovernmental Transfer Agreement with the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, found at County Contract C080151. The amendment renews the agreement for an additional year from July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2017.
Good morning, Sarah Hoyle, Director of Lincoln Lancaster Human Services. The Disproportionate Share Hospital is a federal program. This allows the county to assist the state in drawing down federal resources to help cover the expenses of those hospitals that we have. This includes Bryan, St. E's, and Madonna, who serve a high proportion of Medicaid indigent population. It helps reimburse them for the Medicaid rate and the uninsured clients that they take.
Move approval.
Second?
Moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to the DSH intergovernmental transfer. Any discussion?
Better known as the dish.
The dish. Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Acceptance of State Grant Award 16 CB0523 from the Nebraska Commission on Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice in the amount of $852,152 for Lancaster County Community Aid.
And this is the state grant that we receive based upon our juvenile population in Lancaster County. This funds community-based programs. It funds our juvenile diversion program, Sports with Police, the 5-0 Fun Club, our assessment program, our pre-adjudication program, El Centro de las Americas, our Sudanese program. It funds various different programs in the community. And I will say, too, that Lancaster County should be recognized, the commissioner should be recognized, because we're one of the only counties that pretty much sends all of this money back into the community. So,
Very good. Yeah.
And I would move approval and thank you for all your work on this grant.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this acceptance of the state grant award. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Well, that is certainly going to be a great aid.
Agreement with Lincoln Literacy Council to conduct on-site English language and literacy classes for Lancaster County Corrections inmates. The county will pay up to $10,350 for the services. The term of the contract is August 1st, 2016 through July 31st, 2017.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thought we'd come down in case you guys had any questions. Obviously, this is an important program that we provide to help those folks who English is not their first language. We try and help them with that and move them along into learning the English language.
And for the record, so that people know who you are, would you introduce
sorry.
yourself?
I'm Brad Johnson, Interim Director for Department of Corrections.
And I'm Brenda Fisher, Programs Director for the Department of Corrections.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes.
Could you tell us about how many people, I know it's coming and going, but on average that you're able to affect?
We have had literacy in the jail since shortly after we moved to the new facility in 2013. And over the course of that time, the number of participants varies. We have a cap set at 14, simply to be able to keep a manageable number in there for the volunteer tutors to work with effectively. On average, we have probably had anywhere between 8 to 10 from week to week. At times we have had more than that, at times we have had less. But the composition of that class, as Brad alluded to, it consists of individuals for whom English is not their native language. So they're learning the English language from the ground up. And it also consists of individuals perhaps who have been referred into literacy by our GED instructor because they need additional help and support in the areas of reading and writing. They may have weaknesses academically in those areas which need to be shored up and need a little bit more individualized attention than they could receive in the GED classroom setting. So,
Well, I think it's a laudable and very much appreciated goal, because if they can't speak the English language, it's pretty tough to obey the laws and know what they are and succeed in society. So really appreciate what you're doing out there, and I think you have to have manageable numbers so that it is meaningful, just not numbers alone, but what you can actually achieve learning. So it's a good two-way street. But thank you for your efforts, and we have known for some time, and we were just glad to finally have the space in the new facility where we could facilitate these types of classes.
Bill?
Do you have any other source of income to pay for this program? It's a small amount of money for that many people. I'm just wondering, do you have other money?
historically, the funds for this program have come directly out of the inmate benefit fund, and so they're coming out of that stream of funding that is generated by the income inmate expenditures. So the money that they're spending on things like telephone calls, commissary purchases, and things of that nature are being routed back into funding to provide programming to benefit the inmate population.
So is that the bulk of the funding?
That
or-
is the total funding for this particular program. Mm-hmm.
There is no property tax dollars being used to support this program.
All right, move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this agreement with the Lincoln Literacy Council. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson. Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Telephone technical support contract with Jantech Electronics, Inc. for the Youth Services Center. The service contract includes technical support via telephone, fax, internet, and email. The term of the contract is June 8th, 2016 through July 7th, 2017. The cost to the county is $750.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this telephone technical support contract with Jantech. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Utility permit number 1428, allowing Black Hills Energy to install new fiber optics cable in the area of South 63rd Street, Yankee Hill to Rebel Road, South 56th Street, and South 70th Street. There is no cost to the county.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. I just want to make one correction to this item in that it's Black Hills Energy not installing fiber optics cable, but installing gas line to a subdivision. So we need to get this down instead of fiber optics as gas line.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'd move approval with the correction being gas line instead of fiber optic cable.
And that is true just on item G. The rest truly are fiber optics cable. Got it. Okay.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, we need a second.
Second?
It's moved and seconded that we approve utility permit number 1428 with noted correction of gas line. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Utility permit number 1429, allowing Windstream, Nebraska to install new fiber optics cable along West Davie Road from the village of Davie to North 98th Street along Highway 77, from West Davie Road to Agnew Road, along North 70th Street from Agnew Road to Little Salt Road, and Agnew Road from Highway 77 to North 112th Street. There is no cost to the county.
Move approval.
Second?
It's moved and seconded that we approve utility permit number 1429. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Utility permit number 1430, allowing Windstream, Nebraska to install new fiber optics cable from the village of Firth along Firth Road and along Southwest 54th Street. There is no cost to the county.
Move approval.
Second?
It's moved and seconded that we approve utility permit number 1430. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Utility permit number 1431, allowing Windstream, Nebraska to install new fiber optics cables along Southwest 29th Street from West Martell Road to West Roca Road. There is no cost to the county.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve utility permit number 1431. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Utility permit number 1432, allowing Windstream, Nebraska to install new fiber optics cable along West 42nd Street from West Martell Road to West Bennett Road. There is no cost to the county.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve utility permit number 1432. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery.
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Shore.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Utility permit number 1433, allowing Windstream, Nebraska to install new fiber optics cable along West Bennett Road from Southwest 29th Street to Southwest 58th Street. There is no cost to the county.
Move approval. Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve utility permit number 1433. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore.
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Change order supplemental agreement to County Contract C160092 with Christensen Brothers for an increase of $26,263.57 for removal and disposal of unforeseen structures and obstructions.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. Just to remind you of the location of this bridge, located on Firth Road, just outside of Firth. We did provide this exhibit for you today. This is Bridge X205, located on Firth Road, east of Highway 77. That was for you, Commissioner Shore. So sometimes when we go to build structures, we find unforeseen items. And so what you're seeing here is a picture of one abutment and a picture of the other abutment of the bridge before the bridge that we took down. So these are the old 1920s, 1930s abutments for this bridge that turned out to be, unknowing to us, not taken out during the construction of the last bridge. And then we needed to take them out in order to build a solid abutment for our new bridge. And so unfortunately, we had no documentation that would lead us to think that we would find these old buried abutments and no field investigations that indicated they were there, so they had to be removed. It was an unforeseen cost.
Move approval. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Larry?
Well, I'll go ahead and second the motion, but it's $26,000 just to remove it in addition
That
to
is
the
correct.
original product.
That is correct. It's $26,000 total for each abutment in order to.
Two abutments,
and
one
there
on
was-
each side.
There was two, yes.
Neither one of
One of
them.
them ended up being a little cheaper to get out than the other one. There was one that was a little more difficult.
Okay. That's a tremendous amount of money to withdraw those. Did we get competing bids or just an amendment to the contractor since he was already there?
Okay, so the contractor is already there, and we would open ourselves up to a lot of liability should we have shut down the job, went out and got bids, and brought in a second contractor to do this. So we negotiated with the contractor. We monitor hours when we're in this sort of situation in order to be fair. And so coming forward, this is what we believe to be the best fairest estimate. It was $11,000 and some change for one of the abutments, and it was $15,000 for the other. So again, we didn't just say 2 times the cost. We looked at the actual cost to get this out of there.
Thank you for your extra diligence.
Will this delay the project at all?
You may notice on the change order, we did not add days to the contract. I don't believe it will delay the project, but it did take him a few days to get this out of here, so.
Okay, well, we have a motion and a second to approve this change order. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore.
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Avery.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Amendment to County Contract C13-0471 with Continuum Energy for the annual supply of natural gas. Continuum Energy has assigned its right for this contract to CenterPoint Energy Services, Inc.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to the county contract with Continuum Energy. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Amendment to County Contract C13-0495 between Data Shield Corporation, the City of Lincoln, the Lincoln Lancaster Public Building Commission, and Lancaster County, using the State of Nebraska contract number 5639304 for on-site secure document shredding. The estimated cost for services will be increased by approximately $120 per month for the remainder of the contract term, with a revised total amount of $3,740.
Move approval.
Second, with comment, at the staff meeting last Thursday, we had quite a presentation on how essential it is, not just to have it shredded, but to the third generation
Right.
of shredding that we have to do now with the sensitive documents that we have in county businesses. Seems like a lot of money just to destroy documents, but believe you me, there's a reason why it has to be done properly.
Yeah, there's a huge concern with identity theft. Yep. So, any further discussion? Okay, it's been moved to second that we approve this amendment. Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, item P, I believe that we were going to hold for next week.
Okay.
So,
Item Q, appointment of Brent Meyer, Weed Superintendent, to the County Website Committee.
Move approval.
Second.
it's moved and second that we approve the appointment of Brent Meyer to the county website committee. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 7, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is exception, these items will be approved as one with a single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items of approval are: A, receive and place on file the following reports for May 2016. Assessor, Register of Deeds, Records and Information Management. B, setting of a public hearing on Tuesday, July 5th, 2016 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building regarding county change of zone number 16011 from AG Agricultural District to AGR Agricultural Residential District on property generally located at South 82nd Street and Roca Road. C, setting of a public hearing on Tuesday, July 5th at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building regarding Comprehensive Plan Amendment numbers 16002 to amend future land use plan from the AG Agricultural District to AGR Low Density Agricultural Residential District Low Density on property generally located at South 82nd Street and Roca Road.
Move approval of the consent items.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the consent items. Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes. Mhm.
Motion carries 4-0. Item 8, public comment. Those wishing to speak on items related to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Gary Aldridge, Lincoln, Nebraska. Does anyone know, is this Flag Day?
Yes.
Yellow, red, white, and blue.
Put her out this morning.
Orlando, there is no reasonable or rational explanation for that. I must revisit some comments I made here Tuesday last. I misspoke. Nothing I said is a capital error. Innocent mistakes. Mistakes still. I spoke of military personnel 2135 GSAB Nebraska Army Guard folded into 2104 GSAB U.S. Army. I misidentified GSAB. as General Service Aviation Battalion. It is General Support Aviation Battalion. And I located Afghanistan plus or minus 9 clock hours from Nebraska. That didn't sound quite right. I checked. The time difference or clock difference is plus or minus 11 hours. For any who say 2 hours further is not much, go to Afghanistan. Last week, I brought my son in theory into this room. You were patient with my unease and anxiety. I would like to share some photographs with you. Is it all right? Okay, all right. Picture of our youngest son and his mother, my wife. You probably can figure out which is which. He's squinting because he's looking at the sun. It's not a smile, it's a squint. He's facing the sun, and it was sunny that day. This is on Friday before the departure. Second picture gives a scale or perspective, man and machine. And the last picture, this is the last picture I took that day of 2104 at departure. My wife and I got to the Army Guard base about 9:15. Departure was supposed to be about 10 o'clock, and when we got there, the hangar doors were open and the helicopters were parked on an apron next to the taxiway in a row. There was a lot of activity inside, and finally the guardsmen started moving out to the helicopters. About 9:40, 20 minutes till 10 or 20 minutes before departure, the real activity started when they started the engines on the helicopters. They go through probably a series of a checklist, which is good because the people on the helicopters want to make sure that everything is working as it should, especially the pilots, the left seat and the right seat. In any case, the engine started and they ran for a while, and then the horizontal stabilizer and the blades started turning. The top light and the bottom light started blinking. The helicopters started moving to the taxi or to the taxiway. Helicopters don't need a runway to take off; they just need an area. And they did a little. And I saw this before, I call it a little hip hop before they get out to the place where they're going to take off. The helicopter will take off about 15, 20, 30 feet and move slowly forward, and then it will drop back to the concrete and move on. I'm guessing probably if there is an oops, they want to discover this when they're moving low and slow. In any case, they departed, and this looks more like a flock of helicopters when in fact they're probably moving in line. If you saw them from above or from behind, you probably would see a line of helicopters and not a flock.
Anna?
Thank you. They were moving generally north. They turned to the west and finally turned to the south, and then they were gone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 9, announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, June 16th, 2016 at 8:30 a.m. in the Bill Luxford studio of the County City Building. B, the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold their next regular meeting on Tuesday, June 21st, 2016 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building, with the Board of Equalization immediately following. C, the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 21st, 2016 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building regarding a manager application for Roderick D. Lane in connection with a Class CK liquor license for Sesostris Temple, 1050 Saltillo Road, Broca, Nebraska. D, the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold public hearings on Tuesday, June 28th, 2016 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building regarding County Special Permit number 15064 for Avalon Event Paradise, 12788 West Roca Road, Crete, Nebraska, and County Special Permit 16021 for Hillside Events, 12400 West Denton Road, Denton, Nebraska. E, the county commissioners can be reached at 402-441-4774 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live. It is rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays on 5 City TV, cable channel 5. In addition, the meeting may be viewed on the internet at lancaster.ne.gov under 5 City TV, video on demand, or 5 City TV on YouTube.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we adjourn. Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay. The Board of Commissioners meeting is adjourned, and let's move on then to the Board of Equalization.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written materials to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. We are also joined by Scott Gaines of the Lancaster County Assessor's Office. 1. Minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, June 7th, 2016.
I move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of last week's Board of Equalization meeting. Any corrections? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Item 2, additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
Move approval of the additions and deductions.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Public hearing. Motor vehicle tax exemption applications. Bryan Medical Center and First United Methodist Church.
We'll open this public hearing now, and for anyone interested in speaking in support of, in opposition to, or in a neutral position, please come forward. And I will now close the public hearing.
Move approval of the motor vehicle tax exemptions.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve these applications. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we adjourn. Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Adamson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, Board of Equalization is now closed.